about 4 minutes out.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, 4 minutes out.
Yes, I'm here. Okay.
They got all their emergency people.
All right, we're 3 minutes out now.
But I think it's gonna be Miss Burgess.
Two and a half minutes out. Yes, I'm here. All right. All right. Yes, yes, I have. All right. We're a minute and a half out. Yes. Oh. 30 seconds. Okay. Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mayor Reggie Burgess, City of North Charleston. On yesterday around 2 o'clock, Governor McMasters gave me a telephone call. On that telephone call, he asked me what could he do as the governor of the state of South Carolina to help the City of North Charleston's residents. I told the governor that we are in need of equipment that will be able to actually help us to clear the roadways because of the water. And he actually helped us by sending us FEMA user high water Virginia Task Force 1. The government masters declared on yesterday the state of South Carolina as an emergency area. The city of North Charleston followed his declaration. So today, we have before you the mayor's assistant, Darvis Bregman, the deputy assistants, Gwen Moultrie and Andy Summy, Frank Lapsey, who runs the Coliseum Performing Arts Center. From the police side, we have Deputy Chief Karen Cordray, Deputy Chief Johnson, and Deputy Chief Perry. Also, we have Fire Chief Munn and Deputy Chief Roden. City of North Charleston also welcomes Matt Burns and Keen Black and Caldwell Smith. These guys, as you can tell, are with 64 folks who have come here to North Charleston to volunteer to help us to get through this storm. This FEMA Usual High Water Virginia Task Force team has 2 high water teams, also 4 Type 3 swift water flood and search rescue teams. We are very, very excited and most importantly blessed that these teams came here. You have people from Virginia, from Texas, from Maryland, from Georgia, from all over this nation. They came here to help the city of North Charleston to stay the city that we believe it is, the great city in this state. We appreciate what they're doing, and we're going to help them to help us. The city of North Charleston, we've actually filled and handed out over 15,000 sandbags. We've actually distributed and we gave all those bags that we had to our citizens. We also have several other bags that we're going to actually be mobile when you call a number which is 843-740-5883 or 843-740-5887. That's the MEOC number. For those who do not have sandbags, the remaining sandbags, we will bring them to your residence as long as we have them. Understand what I'm saying? We'll bring them to you as long as we have them. Also, our Public Works Department proactively, months ago, looked at the areas that are historically prone to flooding. We didn't start yesterday or the day before. We've been working on those areas to keep those areas clear. The areas that we normally see, the top 4 are Joppa Avenue, which is between Meeting Street and Spru on the Union Heights section. The second is Connor and Burton Lane, which is located near Military Manic by the fire station. Pepper Hill, which is off of Peppercorn. It floods really bad back there to a point where we had to take boats years ago and get citizens out of there, and high water vehicles as well. Otranto Rivers, that is a main vein for travel coming out of Goose Creek, Somerville, to North Charleston or back to the Berkeley County. The building department ordered meadow-style barricades with signage that we placed to deter traffic. Those signs, those barricades, normally you put plastic barricades out, eventually they'll float away or the wind will knock them down. The metal barricades will last. We only want to stop people from hurting themselves. We don't want you to hurt yourself by running into something that's flooded, therefore causing you to be alarmed, and then you trying to get out of that water, and then you placing somebody else's life in jeopardy, a passerby to try to help you to get out, and then it may be a tragic situation. So we're trying to prevent that. As I stated before, our MEOC number, I will state it again, is 843-740-5883, 843-740-5887, and our email address is storminfo@northcharleston.org. I will say it again, storminfo@northcharleston.org. Now, we actually have 3 shelters that are known in the city of North Charleston at this time. The SPCA off of Remont Road, you can bring your animal over there, but you have to accompany your animal. Also, there's a part in the SPCA that's away from the animals where you could go if you don't have an animal. But there's also another shelter, and that shelter is at Dunston Elementary, located on Remont Road as well. And then we have the third shelter, which is at Fort Dorchester High School off of Patriots. So these teams that we have, the high water FEMA teams, they act as a force multiplier for local responders, providing responders and additional emergency equipment. As you see behind me, these people are ready. They're ready to serve and protect the citizens. We'll get through this, North Charleston. We will get through it. We have to get through the rain, and we have to get through the thunder and the wind, but we'll get to it together. Any questions?
We had heard that one of the shelters had reached capacity, I believe the Dunston one you were talking about.
Yes, sir.
Is that still at capacity? And you said there are 3 shelters now. Was that shelter open after that shelter hit capacity, or are there plans to open any more?
Yeah, well, we'll speak with the county on the Dunston, because if it's actually over capacity, then we need the county to help us open another shelter. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, that will be looked into right now, because we need another shelter. As long as we have the people that have a need, we need to shelter them. Yes, sir. I'd like to bring up Chief Munn, if you don't mind, unless you have a question for me.
I was just going to ask you, so these teams and this equipment, this is all kind of on standby for right now in case there's a rescue that is needed?
Yes, ma'am. We're going to coordinate with them. We're going to take them out to the areas that are flooded, and there's historical flooding and it's flooding right now. And what we'll do is let them take a look at it, because they're specialized. They know exactly what to do. But what happens is, and I've seen this in the history, is that folks will try to get and go through a flooded area that's normally a road. And once they get in it, it almost covers the car. Well, we need to have these guys who are professionals, specialized, to be able to get to them and rescue them. So we will have them strategically placed, especially in the areas that's flooded and around our areas that are actually lakes and waterways as well.
And did they get here today?
Yeah, oh yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't wait, and they're here.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am,
Thank
they
you.
are here. Yes, ma'am. Chief, Fire Chief Munn will talk to you about the fire section.
I just want to take the opportunity to give you an update on the fire department and what we've been doing. Since midnight last night, we have run over 102 calls. We have assisted in the removal of 17 people from 5 homes. We have rescued 2 personnel from vehicles. The flood is still ongoing. As you can see with that number of calls, we are going to need these teams and their skills pretty soon, I'm sure. The water's not going away very fast. If there's any questions I can answer, I'll be glad to do it. Mr. Merritt?
We'll have from the
Good afternoon. We're responding to normal calls for service. We're responding to flooded roadways. We've also assisted the fire department getting people out of the residences that have become flooded. We've transported people to shelter. If you will call those numbers in the MEOC, we have people 24 hours a day that are able to answer those phones and respond to any of your needs that we can assist you in. Are there any questions? Thank you.
We have and our NROs are out right now in individual trucks. We have folks that are calling in to that number. When they call it in the number, they stated they need sandbags. So sandbags are going to them right now. On top of that, I'd like to thank Lowe's. Lowe's actually donated over 10 pallets of water. So when we get to those homes, we're taking water as well. And as long as we have the water, folks calling in, we will make sure we get that water to them. But we're going to give our citizens everything we need, everything they need, so they won't have to worry about going out in the elements. You know, we need them to shelter in place and let the law enforcement, fire, public service, and these specialized people help them. We will help you, but you got to help us to help you.
Is the area seeing a lot of
No, not really. But I'm telling you, I mean, I was born and raised in the city. I've seen a lot of water. I mean, just places that I've never seen water, and it's constantly moving. And as you know, of course, the city of North Charleston is a little different than the city of Charleston because we're a little higher, right? But that doesn't matter because as long as this storm is sitting here and it's saturating our soil, it's loosening the ground. That's why you have we had a tree to fall into a home, right, Chief?
Yes.
Yes. We had a tree to fall into a home. And luckily nobody got hurt, but we got the folks out of there. So the softer the ground is going to cause trees to tumble. Also, yeah, I talked to Dominion, and the underground power system is a great thing, but it poses a problem against that as well. So if power goes out, it's not the traditional where you have a post, it could be underground. So those things that we have to always take in consideration. When that happens, it's our job to provide the services to our citizens, and we're going to provide the service.
All good? Good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and God bless all these men and women. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much.